They're supposed to ship 1 million units. They only ship 500,000. So what does the Dreamcast people think? Wow, this is a great opportunity for us to capitalize on the PS2 shortage. We're going to have a really good Christmas because there's 500,000 people who are not getting a PS2. Well, they got to buy something. What happens? People are like, you know what? I'd rather have nothing for Christmas than a Dreamcast.
They couldn't even sell Dreamcast at Christmas. Even with no PlayStation 2, they couldn't even sell Dreamcast at Christmas. That's kind of sad.
People had to wait until March to get a PS2 rather than have something under the tree. And they were willing to wait until, March of the next year to get their system. And that just shows you the stark contrast between the brand loyalty that Sony has and the brand loyalty that Sega could never muster.
Sega is a company whose years of BS finally caught up with them at the worst moment. It caught up with them when they finally launched a system that was amazing.
At this point, Sega realizes their brand has no strength anymore in hardware, and they think, let's just get out of this. We can't do this.
And then in 2001, a mere 18 months after it launched, Sega pulled the plug on the Dreamcast, playing true to form and surprising absolutely no one.
They said they needed to sell 5 million consoles, and they only got to 3 million. They realized they were never going to get to 5, so they kind of pulled the plug. And a year and a half's pretty quick. There's been consoles a lot worse than the Dreamcast that lasted a lot longer.
The moral of the story here is if you don't protect the integrity of your brand, you can never get that back. So by not protecting that, nobody trusts them anymore.
Sega's like the Ike Turner of video games, It's like for years, man, with the launch of every new bit upgrade, the Sega Saturn, it was just like another smack in the face. And then they come back, with another system, be like, oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm here for good this time. I'm here for good. And finally, by the time they cleaned up their act, they came back, they brought the Dreamcast. They're like, we're setting up permanent roots. We want to have kids. We're going to be here for a while. Tina moved on.
And even after the Dreamcast, Sega just can't stop losing. They announced they were getting out of the hardware market altogether. They said, we're just going to make games now. We got these sports games. They're pretty good. So they went up against the EA NFL football games, and they said, we're going to put ours out at half price.
EA was obviously worried because they spent a gajillion dollars and bought the exclusive NFL license. So now they're the only people that can make football games with the New York Giants and with real football teams and real football players.
And that pretty much put Sega out of the sports game business too.
The Dreamcast was a great system, and even now, 7 years later, people are still making games for the Dreamcast.
Everyone I know who's ever owned a Dreamcast still has it. And that's a lot more than you can say for most video game systems.
For some reason, I won't throw it away, even though I haven't played it in years. It's just a sign of respect.
There are a ton of gamers out there with their Xbox 360s who feel like, all right, this is who I'm married to now. But that Dreamcast who I used to date in high school, if things just went a little different, we'd still be together. It'd be